Hey, what's going on, guys? Today, I just want to make this video because we have finally got some new casting news for Scream 6. We just got a new casting announcement um, for Dermot Mulroney. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he has just been announced to be in Scream 6. Um, I don't really know who he is because I don't even think I've seen anything that he could possibly be in. But I've heard that he was, because he was something, he was in this show, movie or whatever called Wedding something. I don't really know what it's called, but I think that's the only movie that I remember him from. And what's it called? Yeah, I don't really recognize him too much. So but he's been announced in Scream 6, and he is said to play a police officer. And I could actually do see him playing a police officer because I've just looked up some movies that he's in, and he has played police officers before. He's played some detective, lawyers type things before in other movies. He's been, he hasn't really been in horror movies, but he's kind of been like in some thriller type movies, like not like horror, but kind of like thriller. He's kind of been in those kind of movies. He's been in um, kind of dramatic comedy movies. He's been in those all types of those movies, but he's not really been in horror. So this is actually interesting that he's being announced in this movie. He's playing a police officer. Um, there's been a lot of rumors of what character he could possibly be playing, what character he could possibly be, um, what significant role he could probably have. I've seen people say he could be Tara's um, real dad, because we know Billy is Sam's real dad, but Tara, we never really got to know who was her real dad. So he very well could be Tara's dad, but I just don't really see that being the case. Maybe if he was like Wes and Judy's dad or something, and he was like also working in the police department, but we just maybe he was working across like somewhere else and he wasn't in Woodsboro at that time in Scream 5. I guess you could make the argument for that, but um I just don't really see him being Tara's biological father, but maybe Wes and Judy's father slash husband. I could probably see that. But either way, he might have some similarities to probably what's Mark Kincaid in Scream 3. Mark Kincaid, we know he was a detective. He was, a police officer. He was working there. He could have that kind of role, as being, the new Mark Kincaid. Because we know Mark Kincaid, he's married to Sydney, and Sydney has kids with him, you know. So regardless if Mark Kincaid does return for Scream 6 or not, if they get Patrick Dempsey to return and play him, I don't know. Because I don't think Mark Kincaid would actually be able to be in Scream 6, mainly just because of the fact that he is. I, I would mainly because Mark Kincaid, you would think that Mark would want to be with his kids. He would want to be with Sydney. So even if they do get him to return as his character, I doubt he would just be like, oh, I'm just gonna stay here and I'll go handle this detective work because we don't even know if he's even a detective still in the first place. Like we saw he was a detective in Scream 3, but for Scream 6, at this point it's been many years since Scream 3, so we don't even know what if he's still a detective or not. So I very well could see him, Mark Kincaid, like not being in Scream 6 and not being a detective or whatnot. So he could very well be playing like a new Mark Kincaid type character. He could be detective. He could even be the new sheriff of, well, actually, maybe not the new sheriff of Woodsboro because Scream 6 is not going to be in Woodsboro, but he definitely could be the sheriff of wherever Scream 6 is taking place at. I very well could see that being the case. And overall, he could have a significant role. I'm hoping he does have a significant role because it's kind of pointless to like announce certain people that are going to be in the film that are just there to just like, we're only going to see them in maybe a few scenes and then like maybe one or two scenes and then they're just not in the rest of the movie or because they like get killed or something. There's just really no point of that. So I feel like they can find ways for him to have some type of significant role in Scream 6 while also making it so that while also making it so his character can get some type of character development. So I feel like we there's nothing wrong with characters just being there to get killed. But the thing is, if you have like almost every new character that you announce just getting killed like that out of nowhere, it just feels like there's no point of like even them being in the film. So I'm hoping he can at least have some type of significant role in Scream 6 as a police officer, detective, whatever, and he can have some type of, major, not major, but at least some type of character development. Because even if he does die, like I want him to at least be memorable. I'm not saying every character has to be memorable, like every new character that gets announced in Scream 6 and is going to be in the film has to get like this major character development and like we have to care about all of them. Like, no, we don't need that. Because that was kind of the big thing with Scream 5 is like, yeah, there was a lot of characters that didn't get character development, but it's not like that hasn't been a thing in the past before. I mean, with Scream 4, most of the characters we didn't even either they didn't get character development or they were just there. Like they really had no significant role. Like they really didn't matter that much. So it was kind of the same I would say with Scream 3 as well. So I don't know. I just feel like the argument that people had for Scream 5 saying that a lot of the characters didn't get character development, it is valid. Don't get me wrong, because I felt the same way. I definitely feel like a Scream 6, we should definitely get characters with character development and stuff. But Scream 5 is not the only film, is what I'm trying to say, that didn't get, with characters that didn't get much character development. But I definitely do think for sure that in Scream 6, we should definitely have characters with character development. We could have cool chase scenes like this with Gale, you know, where Gale's getting chased. Like, that was a cool chase scene in Scream 2. Like, we all know that, like, that was the one of the best chase scenes in the Scream franchise. Like, that was an amazing chase scene. And I feel like we need more of that as well because like Scream 5 definitely for sure was lacking that. And like just I felt like not just chase scenes and character development, it was also lacking like um creative kills and a lot of like more gore. You know what I'm saying? Like Scream 5 definitely was brutal. It definitely was, like for sure. But it's just I felt like we could have had more creative kills, like Ghostface kills without his knife. I've said that like before many times, like in my last video. I felt like we really need more kills without just a knife, you know, and have the kills. where he's not using a knife be brutal and gory and just all that stuff. We need that because, like I said, Scream 5's kills, they were brutal, but we needed more, not just brutal kills, but creative kills without the knife. We needed both of that. So I just feel like those are the main issues that I kind of had with Scream 5. But I don't pinpoint those issues as much as other people do because I know other people, they try to pinpoint those issues as like, oh, that means this movie, like, oh, it like lacked so much just because of it. Like, I don't think it lacked that much just because of that. Like, it suffered because of it. Because I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Because I feel like there's always a chance that they can do that in Scream 6, which I'm pretty sure they will. That's why I'm saying all this stuff. So I definitely do think that is what we need, though, and what I want to see. Um, Hopefully, we get some more casting announcements and more casting news for Scream 6. Sorry, and like we could get more because like we've already had so many rumors of like people saying that, oh, like the casting announcements, all the new cast is not going to get announced until Scream 6 is done filming. I've seen a lot of people say that, and usually my response to that is it's literally just a rumor, and there's no possibility that that's going to happen for sure. So that's why all I'm saying is that people are like they're seeing these theories and all these rumors of like, oh yeah, like they're not gonna they're gonna not announce the new cast for Scream 6 until they're done filming in August. But that's never, unless it's confirmed, all I'm saying is don't believe it. Is it a possibility? Yes, it is. Because even I think it is somewhat a possibility. But don't, like, there's a lot of people who are saying this as if it's true or something. And it's just like, I just don't know why. Like, you know? But I definitely do think it's a possibility that we might, because we did get a new cast member announced today. So we definitely could get a few more throughout these past 3 days that we have until Scream 6 starts filming. And then, after we get a few more, if we get a few more casting announcements before Scream 6 starts filming in 3 days, they'll probably announce the rest of the cast in August. I definitely do think that's a possibility. But like I said, I'm not so sure on it, so I'm just saying it could be a possibility though, because they really have not said much since then, and it's already been like what many weeks already. It's been like because I feel like we haven't got many casting announcements, you know, because one, Courtney Cox Gale, she was the first one that was announced to be in Scream 6. She was literally announced like what, a month later after Scream 6 was greenlit. Like, because Scream 6 was greenlit, I would say in February, and then like in March, Courtney Cox, she was greenlit to return. But then, like a day later, after Kirby was confirmed to return for Scream 6, then out of nowhere we see that Courtney Cox is removed from the casting list. And then everyone's just like, what the heck is going on? Like, why did that happen? And then we realize it's because she's no longer like a part of the Scream 6 cast anymore. Why? I don't know. Like, I really don't know why that happened. We haven't got any info from Courtney. Like, it's like she has not said anything. No one has said anything. We don't even, like, we just don't know. We don't know for sure what happened and if she's returning or not. That's just kind of been left on the left field. like so really our only official casting announcements that were like our first were the core four of Sam, Mindy, Chad, Tara. Like they were the ones that are officially the first ones to be officially confirmed to be in Scream Six, because Courtney Cox was basically removed from the casting list, so she doesn't really count anymore because of that. I don't know why that happened, but it's whatever. Like I just hate that that happened though. After Kirby, the day after Kirby was announced to return, because it just kind of like it didn't ruin the hype, but I definitely do think that it like you know it was kind of a bummer, just the like we the day we get Kirby announced to return out of nowhere, freaking Courtney Cox is removed from the cast list, and it's just like, man, I don't know. I just kind of kind of bugged me when that happened, and yeah, like we got Kirby announced like probably a couple of days later after the core four were announced to return to Scream Six, and then now we finally, like 3 weeks later, almost a month later, we have Dermot Mulroney to confirm to be confirmed for Scream Six. But so far, we haven't got any other news besides that. So I definitely do think it's a possibility that they might not show the rest besides him to return for Scream Six. But like I said, I don't know for sure though. But it's definitely a possibility. And you know, with Scream Six, I don't know how they're gonna advertise their film or what they're gonna do. So I definitely do think that it would be cool for them to have like some type of this thing that they did for Scream 5 where they were had all their faces right there covered with the ghost face mask. They were holding it up and stuff. I like that marketing that they had, because that poster, you know, for the Scream 5, and they were showing the possible suspects. It just not only does it look cool, but it just shows that it gives like more of like a mystery, and it makes people like more excited to go see Scream 5. So I'm hoping we can have that type of marketing for Scream 6. Everyone's like holding the mask or something like that. I think that would be cool. But yeah, I really don't know where we're gonna go from here. I don't know if we're gonna get more casting announcements. Like I really hope we do. I mean, we're like I said, we're 3 days away from filming. So at this point I really don't know. But at the end of the day, we'll just have to see what happens. But yeah, we basically got a new casting member, and I'm hoping he can have some type of significant role in Scream Six. And he's not just because I'm hoping that because most cops in Scream Six, they always end up dying. That's the thing. But the cops in the Scream movies, they always end up dying. They always end up dying. And the thing is that I mean, not in Scream Six, but because I don't know why it says Scream Six. I kind of zoned out because I was doing something. But what's it called? I'm hope because almost all the cops in the Scream movies, they always end up dying. And it's just like I feel like the way they can break that trope is either they have the cop have some type of significant role. Like I'm not saying that he has to have a major role in Scream Six, like where he's like he's like kind of a main focus. But I'm just saying he could be like, kind of like Officer Hawkins in Halloween 2018 and Kills, where he was like shown in there and he had somewhat a significant role, and we saw what happened to him and where he was at and what he was doing. We can have something like that for his character in Scream 6, Dermot. We could have him as a cop, and we get to have some type of scenes with him. He can have some type of role. Like I'm hoping he doesn't just die or because it's just like we've seen it happen all the time. Like every almost every cop in the Scream movies, they always end up dying, including Dewey, even though he wasn't a cop anymore, but he died as well. So yeah, it's just I'm hoping they can break that trope of like just killing off the cops in the Scream movies, and they can have some type of one of them could live for once. That would be cool. And what's it called? Or they can have a plot twist where he's revealed to be either he's revealed like because he can have a significant role and not die, like somewhat significant role and not die, or he can be revealed as the killer. I feel like that would be cool because that literally has never happened. Like we've always had red herring type of killers, like Dewey in Scream 1 and Scream 2. He was kind of like a red herring. Like they made him look suspicious, and they were really trying to make you think that he was probably the killer. Because in Scream 1, people are like, "Oh, it's Billy, isn't it? It's Billy. Either it's Billy or it's Dewey, because they're the most sus ones." But ended up being Billy because obviously he faked his death, and he got attacked. So basically, Dewey was just a red herring. Mark Kincaid in Scream 3, he was a major red herring. He was probably the most red herring we probably ever had in the Scream movies. Him and probably him and Judy and probably Trevor and Derek. They were probably the main ones who were like the biggest red herrings. Oh yeah, and Cotton as well. Because they were trying to make you think he was the killer as well. They were probably all those characters, those were like the most red herring like characters ever. Like they were trying to make it so obvious, like not obvious, but kind of like they were trying to make you so like suspicious of them to make you think that they're the killer, but they weren't the killer. So Mark Kincaid, he was definitely he was a big red herring, and they were trying to make you think, oh, like he may be a detective, but he's being suspicious, he could be the killer, but then he wasn't the killer. So that was shocking for a lot of people. And now he's married to Sydney and he has kids with her, so he really wasn't a killer. He was a good person. But I'm hoping that they can reverse some type of things that they have with the Scream movies, like making the cops always die or something, and like either have one cop have a somewhat of significant role and live, or they die. I mean, not die, but be the killer. That would be cool, you know? At the end of the day, this is all just speculation. This is all theories. I'm not saying this is true or it's gonna happen, but I just think it's a cool little theory. It's fun to talk about this kind of stuff because whenever we get new casting announcements for new characters, it's always fun because you get to speculate what character they're gonna play, what they're gonna do, what they're gonna be. It's always just fun. So I definitely think him living and having a significant role somewhat and or being a killer is definitely a cool little theory that could definitely happen. I don't know. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Let me know, what you guys thought of what I said or anything. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about next, what video you want me to make next. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.